As you can see, moving the camera in Multiwinia is surprisingly easy. Most RTS games require you to stick the mouse to the edges of the screen to scroll or pan the camera around, and it can always be a bit awkward. The Total War games, while extremely good, can often be a game in itself in just trying to move the camera where you want it and pointing in the right direction. Multiwinia and Darwinia are completely different in that they use a control method more commonly seen in first-person shooters. Essentially, you move around with the WASD keys and you point where you want to look with the mouse. The mouse wheel moves you up and down. In the middle of a battle, it's quite crucial to be able to move around and see exactly what's going on, and this really lets you do it. Hold down shift, you move a bit faster, just like if you want to sprint in a first-person shooter. Why other RTS games haven't done this, I have no idea. Whether the "your ad here" statue is a joke, or whether the game's actually going to have adverts in it, has yet to be seen. Knowing Introversion, it's probably a joke. Here comes another crate. Here's the squad I was talking about earlier. You can only spawn special characters at your bases, so I've created the squad here, which I'm now controlling directly in terms of movement and in terms of what it's firing at. Now these red guys here are trying to stop mine from getting the statue back. They're too late, but I might as well finish them off anyway. Squads only last for a certain amount of time, because otherwise they would probably imbalance a game in a multiplayer environment. If you had too many squads, you could basically wipe out half the other player's army. One useful thing is that at the bottom of the screen you can see you're always told exactly what controls do what. So for new players that's quite vital. There's no guessing about what your mouse is going to do. If you right click, it switches the troop transport between loading up and unloading, and any nearby Darwinians will get in or get out. Now we've got two troop transports here. You can swap between them just by hitting tab, which is also illustrated on the interface. As you can see, I'm doing quite well here. What's worth noting is that the preview we were sent is only actually a single player preview. There's no multiplayer with other people. The game is still great fun, but how it actually plays against real human opponents has yet to be seen. As you can see, the red guys are pretty much got control of this statue, and there's a huge swarm of them everywhere, so I brought a troop transport in with 100 troops on board. Let's get them out of the truck. Troop transports are actually quite vulnerable, so if you don't get all your troops out of it, you can lose the entire transport. Now we need to catch up with the statue and try and stop it from getting where it's going. It's not looking good, because the Reds also have this capture point, which means more and more of their troops are being created every second. I've got a lot of Darwinians just sitting around there. I probably should have done something with them. So, let's take this other troop transport and load them up. As you can see, my green guys here aren't doing too well at stopping the statue. With better tactics, I probably would have been able to. I should have gone around the front of the statue and cut it off that way rather than trying to chase it, especially with the other red base right next to me. Meanwhile, I've got another statue going across there, so I'm not doing too badly. The little Darwinians really feel like proper characters. They behave fairly autonomously. Although you can direct them like this, they still fight on their own, move on their own, evade problems. If someone throws a grenade, they'll all get out of the way. There isn't any tedious micromanagement. You don't have to sit around babysitting them all for half the game. Instead, it's more about positioning your troops and getting everything in the right place at the right time, so that the battle can then play out as it will. Things aren't going too well over there. As you can see, there's a rather large red army on the way. I'm going to take those little guys over to the crate that's just sitting there. Meanwhile, I've got a troop transport full of 100 people here. Let's see if I can get them out in order to stop the Reds and the oncoming army. The problem with emptying people out when you're this close to the army is that they start bombarding the troop transport, and as you can see, it got blown up before the guys could actually get out. All the Reds swarm back in, grab the statue, and off they go again. So not the best tactics from me there. And they've got yet more backup coming, and I've only got about 10 guys there, desperately attempting to stop them. Here comes my other transport. Now this time I'm going to get them out in advance. It's a risky move because they'll of course be completely flanked on all sides, and there you go, the troop transport has exploded. This time, however, some of them managed to get out, but they're all on fire and flailing about. It looks pretty painful. For tiny little green things, you can feel surprisingly sorry for them. Now this is a good power-up. Some of my guys just opened a crate somewhere, which gives me a gun turret. Again, you've got to be careful they don't get blown up before they can get equipped properly. But I'm going to put a gun turret down here. You'll see my little green guys coming to man it. As long as they hurry up and get in charge of the gun, they can then start firing at the Reds. Of course, we've only got 3 seconds left of the match, but there you go. Oh, and there goes the gun. So yeah, you didn't see the best tactics there from me, but hopefully that was a good view of exactly what the game's like. And you get this really cool freeze frame at the end where you can go around and see the final state and see all the great victories that your amazing tactics worked out, and you can also see exactly where you went wrong. For example, I've got hundreds of green guys on the shoreline doing absolutely nothing there. So yeah, for the full preview, head over to potentialgamer.com.